Welcome back to another episode of Light Between Us. This is a podcast with no rules, no boundaries, and no expectations. It just is. These are unscripted conversations with those I have real relationships with. This is not an interview or an informational podcast, but a podcast of witness to the living example of healing through relation 2 by 2. This podcast is a space for us to meet fully in the present and to allow the miracles, the love, the light to shine through. A reminder, we do not wake up alone. We remember the truth together 2 by 2 as the light reveals itself in the space between us. Oh, friends, you have no idea. Today is like the beginning says, it's unscripted. It just is. It is how it unfolds. And today is a glimpse into something that no one has ever had a glimpse into. And it is exciting. It is scary. It is all the feels, but it is Julie. You have met Julie before. Julie and I have worked together for the past 3 years, one-on-one coaching for a period of time. It was weekly, and currently we are bi-weekly meeting. And yeah, Julie is working more and more about just how different places of processing and how to process and how to really bring whatever forward and get into vulnerable situations to bring the darkness to the light. And so she messages me yesterday. Thursdays are our regularly scheduled one-on-one calls every other Thursday. And she says, let's record it. She's like, I was thinking about why we haven't hit record for another podcast. I know you asked me. And then thinking about our one-on-one, and I was like, let's record it. She shares more about kind of how that led into in this episode, but literally you are watching a live coaching session. It is 2 hours. I know you're probably like, holy crap, 2 hours. That is one thing with my coaching that I have just started to listen to my intuition. It goes against everything you've ever been told, that there should be limits. You should stop it off. And like Julie and I talk about actually after we stop the recording, is that we've really noticed that once we get into allowing spirit and like fully we go so deep. And it's usually about the half-hour mark, 45-minute, you'll see like we do some updates, we get to really celebrate, and it's beautiful. And then it's just like we plummet into this beautiful space of witnessing things that need to be brought to the light. And yeah, it's amazing. But like this is, you guys, this is like an opportunity like I never thought would be an opportunity. I mean, I'm so honored that Julie felt safe to do this and that she was open to it. So that's super exciting, but also very like, oh my gosh, like people are going to be watching like how the body that's Ashley interacts in this as well. But again, Julie and I have been working together for 3 years. We have built up this level of just connection at such a deeper level. So I feel that even though we may be uncomfortable at moments in this conversation, we both know it is a very safe space. And that, yeah, it just provides, this is literally light between us. This is everything. This is what it's about. This is walking each other home. This is a true holy relationship with the intention, full intention of unwinding and being the mirror, in this case specifically for Julie, but also like the stuff that she brings up, of course, I'm also witnessing as a mirror as well. So I could go on forever because this is just really cool opportunity. Julie listens to coaching podcasts a lot, so it makes sense that maybe she would be open to this. So it's really, really just cool. Really awesome opportunity. And I hope by hearing us unpack things, it maybe provides some awareness and reflection for your own unpacking as well. As always, like, subscribe, turn on notifications. This is one that you will want to listen to the end. 100%, friend, because it just gets richer and richer and more light begins to break through. So there may be moments of discomfort in you. No, you are not alone either. If you want to chat or whatever, just reach out, comment below, and yeah, so much love. Without further ado, here is our one-on-one coaching session from June 18th of 2026. Or do you want to tell me how you came up with the idea to record? our sessions.
I think we should start with how this came up. On Monday, I had class, and I'm in a reflective journaling class in Oxford, and the topic was different modalities for reflective journaling, right? And most people, when we think about journaling, write in a journal or do it on their computer in notes, and as you know, because of our coaching, I have been doing a lot of audio notes, like constant. I'm a little addicted. And then
you like having conversations with yourself.
I love walking in the park and talking to myself. I love it. And then, of course, there's many others. So video is one. My teacher's notes, he's like blogging, vlogging, just personal videos, audio notes, e-portfolio. He just had like all these different things. And I think through the discussion, we always have discussion with our group. It's a small class, only 12 people. And one of the ladies in my group said, "Oh, I know, Julie, I know that you use a lot of audio notes." We were doing pros and cons of the different types. And I said, "You know what I like about the audio notes is that you can really, like, you're talking to someone, like you can really process and be like, okay, this is what happened and this is what I think, and well, what about this and what about that?" And it's just a little bit faster for sure than being able to write every single thing down. And then, so a lot's happened this week, which is ultimately what led me to yesterday say to you, like, I think the different like video and people that do these videos and things, I was watching a coaching session on video. Did we freeze? Or can you still hear me?
I can still hear you.
Oh, okay, good.
Can you hear me? Yeah, you're good.
Yeah, your screen froze for a second, so I wasn't sure. Okay. I just was watching this guy who's a coach a person on a video. And that's kind of what I watch all the time, really.
I know. I was thinking that in my head. I was like,
yeah, I love Peter.
Julie should be coaching people. Like, she's got to be an expert. They always say do research, like read and stuff, and you've listened to a lot.
I watch a lot of, my favorite guy is Peter Crone, and he is a coach, and he's much more than that, of course. And I'm going to see him on Saturday, and I can't wait, in London. But yeah, I was watching it, and I just thought about the pros and cons. Of course, one of the pros and cons, you and I do these calls on just Zoom between you and me. And then, but I was watching this one call between these two people, and I just watched the person being coached, and I just thought, wow, that is so much more vulnerable to be on video, to be willing to share whatever it is that's going on. I mean, I think it's taken me 3 years apparently to be able to do it. It's just been you and me, kid. But
just you and me, kid.
But yeah, so I think it was just a combination of like those conversations in my class and watching that. It was a really impactful podcast episode that was on, that's on video. And I thought, hey, we haven't done this. Why don't we just try it and see how it goes?
Yeah. I mean, I was literally like, after you presented, I was like, maybe Julie should like ask some of her people. Like, she literally, she has researched it.
I watch it every day.
Yeah. When I first started coaching, I actually recorded my sessions for reflection and for the clients, but the clients never really watched them. And so then it just became a huge space taker-upper on Google Drive. So then we just stopped recording. So I do feel like it's a transition for us because, like you said, like we know it's always just us two on the call. So hopefully we can do our best to just like still be the same. Like Pat's like, I can already feel different tension. And I'm like, no, don't, no. Like, this is just a normal day. I mean, I think even if you look at some of the podcast episodes we've done, yes, we show up differently, but there's still always an air of reflection and mirroring, I think, even in those. So, all right. Well,
I will share how I feel about it, which is I have, ever since I said it to you yesterday, I was like, cool. I trust us, and I trust Spirit that whatever comes up, as we always do, will come up. And you have ability, like if I say some names or something, I don't want to include anyone in particular in the conversation, if I don't want people to be exposed, so to speak, we can take care of it.
Right.
So that's it. I think that's it.
Yeah. Well, and I think what you said earlier, like just you coming to that next step is like, it's like when we talk about private thoughts, and immediately like what came to my mind when you were talking about your voice notes is like, you've built this relationship with Jules, your highest self, and it's almost like you're having a conversation with her. And I think even more like Jesus now, because I think you're moving more into that space. And so, it just felt, like we always talk about, what's the shoe in the rock still? Or not the shoe in the rock, what's the rock in the shoe still? And so like what I just heard you saying is like, oh, I saw that it's this, like this, something might be hiding behind like the act of this, because you are so fascinated with them. Like literally your only podcast you listen to is, unless it's the funny ladies, your comedian ladies, that's different.
Yeah.
But other than that, like that's all you listen to. So
it's people being coached and really talking about their personal journeys into spirituality and different things. And so I think the word is, obviously it's way more vulnerable to be on a video and to be willing to post it and share it. But as you said, I get so much value out of watching those videos. And I thought, we have a 3+ year relationship. I completely trust what we talk about. And I'm like, hey, we're just going to try it and see what happens.
Okay. Well, here we are.
Here we are.
So let's start like we always do. Give me some celebrations.
So last week was my birthday. And so we have bi-weekly calls. So last week was my birthday, which means you and I didn't have our coaching session, but we had Lighthouse. And so, I mean, that's part of the celebration, is the fact that we had Lighthouse twice during the week, the day before my birthday and 2 days after my birthday. And anyone who knows me knows that I love my birthday. I love celebrating. And we had beautiful conversations, of course, on Lighthouse about celebrating every day. But also, I just want to like bask in the glory of how much
that everybody.
What?
Well, I was just gonna say that everybody else like was celebrating you too.
Yeah. And bask in the love and connection that happened, especially last week. And it was a variety of things, all the things and the world, like phone calls and texts and flowers and this and that and all those things, and they're so beautiful. And it just I was just like, I was flying high, I will say. I was flying high. It was really good, beautiful week. I bought a beautiful little smug pug piece of art for myself that I love. And it makes me smile every morning when I come out here and look at him, George. I named him George.
You named him George. I love it.
I named him George. And I don't know. It's just so much joy and so much like, I think what I experienced especially about it was I've been very blessed to have a lot of people in my life that have always been very loving to me. And I have a lot of friends and I'm so grateful. And what I would say that has been opening up more is like people expressing more specifically what it is about our relationship that is wonderful. And then therefore allowing me to return that and say, I'm grateful for these things about our friendship or our family relationship. So as we talk about, maybe people said some of this stuff in the past and I was just maybe couldn't hear it or glossed over it a little bit. But I feel like last week it really, all of it just like sunk, like it just really hit me, like people saying these beautiful things. And I just was feeling really good.
I mean, we talked about it last week in Lighthouse, Julie, and something that you just literally specifically said, I was like, so like everybody's a mirror for you. So if everyone's a mirror for you, like we talked last week, we're seeing your mind heal through what you're witnessing in others. And remember, like for years, anytime someone would come up to you, or be in your presence and they would say like, I feel your aura, or they would mention something about a resonation of love, you would get irritated with yourself for not asking specifics. Like you were always like, okay. And so then you had a moment where you were like, okay, I want to know specifics. And you asked and it still wasn't quite exactly what you were looking for, but you felt more complete. So how crazy, not crazy, but beautiful that as your mind is healing, like it's not that you need the specifics or that you ever did, but you're seeing it now. So there's no like space for you to want more. Like you literally like everything ever, like, one of the things with past relationships is people not celebrating you on your birthday. And we talked about as well, like, you weren't celebrating your own damn self, Julie, like when we first started working together, like, and so then you really made that movement to like, I don't need anybody else to celebrate me. And you made like Christmas big, you made your birthday big. And it was all about, really at that moment, we looked at like your inner child so that it was easier for you to have like this external being. And now it's like, it's just, it's like we talked about how the healing of the mind is so that your mind matches your heart, matches your actions, and matches what you're witnessing outside of you. And like that is like flowing, is what I feel like. So I just wanted to again highlight that because last week we highlighted it and we saw that there was some discomfort in highlighting that.
I can take so much. I can take to a degree of, especially getting texts and things. I didn't, because I'm I don't know why, I just didn't speak to a lot of people. I spoke to a couple friends, you and a couple other friends. But I can receive the messages now in text. And I'm talking about, these are my close friends. It's not, yes, there were actually, it was still my close friends and my sister and a couple of people that posted like on Facebook, for example. But I'm talking about, these are direct people that I'm in daily, relationship with. And so that's what I mean by they're expressing like, this is what I see in you, and this is why I love you, and and it would have been all the mushy stuff. All the mushy stuff. It would have been a lot a couple of years ago, but which is probably why I'm sure that was still there to some degree. But no, thank you. I agree with you that I think that's why we're celebrating it, because I've always had beautiful birthdays, and I've traveled with friends, and I've always made something of it, but it did really revolve around like being with other people. And I was here on last Wednesday, obviously not by myself. I live in a city, but I didn't have any plans with anyone. I went to hear a speaker talk, an author speak about their new book. And I walked in the park. I did all the things I normally do. I walked in the park. I did have a couple of phone calls. But I didn't have dinner plans. I didn't travel to see any, in the past, I used to like make sure, like I have a friend I'm going to be with, So I think that's part of it too, is I could receive all that love and connection and really feel it. And that was enough.
Well, I mean, everything you just said, Julie, like, is a living example of you used to seek the love at the level of form. So you would arrange your people so that you were around people doing something quote unquote special, but you still didn't feel the love. And now you know that it comes from within. Like, that is always there. And then, like you said, because the world feels different, about birthdays, like you felt the extra specialness, even though we know it's not special and we want every day to be your birthday and every day to be Christmas. But like it's again showing the growth of you realizing, like, it doesn't matter how I manipulate the world.
Yeah.
It's about where my mind's at. And so, like, you literally did the complete opposite of what you would used to do, make special things happen, right? Like, oh my gosh, schedule dinner at a special place with my special people and all this stuff. And instead, like, you were just like, I'm just going to go with the flow today. You had, like you said, the book event scheduled, which just so happened to fall on your birthday. You would have gone to it if it fell on the day before or the day after, because you were, it was something you wanted to do.
Something. Yeah, it was somebody I wanted to see. And it was just a coincidence that it was on my birthday, but so that's, I think,
you used
all
to
of
seek
that.
it external, and now seeking it within. And again, like, it's uncomfortable to reflect this, only because we don't fear the darkness. You don't fear, like, it's easy for us at the, like, when we're having these conversations, for us to go into what doesn't feel good, right? The dark, and like talk about that. Yeah, it gets muddy and uncomfortable.
Sure.
But it's the light we truly fear. And that's why it's been uncomfortable in the past to, like, reflect on these. You loved receiving it. Like, you never didn't love receiving people's love.
Oh, yeah. Right.
But it was like then sharing it, like, oh my God, and like really reflecting, like, oh my gosh, like, people are grateful for me. Like, wow, because that would make it even more real and you fear the light. But now look at, like, you're like openly sharing. Yes, there's still some uncomfortability, but that's why we just continue to reflect. And that's why I'm not letting you just slide by this birthday celebration again. Because usually, our celebrations are kind of short, but I mean, like, this is huge. Like, we reflect so often on the heavy stuff.
Well, yeah, because it takes up our time. It takes up our time on the more complicated, what feels more complicated. But when we
think about the lighthouse retreat, it's like the same concept. Like the retreat, like, you felt major transformation, even though we all were honestly, like, skeptical about it, because there wasn't any, like, darkness planned. It was just about following the joy. So what if we, I don't know, like, what if we just always only focused on the celebrations? Maybe the healing would I don't know. Just a thought. Okay. Well, of course, birthday celebration. What else you got for celebration?
Well, this week, and it's going to lead into what we're going to talk about, but OMG, I have had so, like, when people talk about, I think Peter Crone probably talks about this, and other coaches and people talk about, like, receiving downloads, like, from the universe or from spirit or from just like awareness, just receiving new
Deeper
perspective
awareness.
And what we say in the course is miracles, right? Receiving the miracles. The Course in Miracles. I don't even know how to start talking about this, but on Tuesday, I mean, it really started from my birthday, and I had, I'll tell you more, but, like, I feel like had some duality of riding the high from the birthday and then having kind of a little bit of down a little bit of down feelings maybe over the weekend, and talking to my sisters about what's going on with my mom. But then Monday, I got up and I'm like, okay, I can tell I've been blocking some emotion because I went to my class on Monday, and that's where I mentioned earlier about like the video stuff, the reflective journaling. And I actually shared with them in my little group that I had journaled this stuff about my mom. And I literally shared it in 3 minutes, and I teared up, got hot. I always get hot when I have to talk about emotional things, like meaning physically feel warm. And I did it so fast too. And I was like, well, this is what's happening. And I journaled about it, la, la, la. And I was like, like fire coming over me. Mm-hmm. And then Tuesday was a day that I can't even describe how much incoming awareness and emotional release and so many things, which we'll talk about. But that's that this week has been just this like opening. So beautiful. I stayed up till, I go to bed at like 10 every day. Like I go to bed at 10 and I get up at 7. I don't stay up late. I stayed up till 2 a.m.
That's like the next day, Julie.
Yeah. I stayed up on Tuesday night I was up at 7, and, we can talk about things throughout the day, but I stayed up till 2 a.m. listening to music, dancing, then having huge emotional, like sobbing and just like all the things. I don't even know what to tell you, but that's what was going on this week. And so it's been amazing. And like, I can't stop. Anything I listen to, a book, a podcast, anything, it's just like, oh my God, and this, a new perspective. The
miracles.
Like every single thing. I can't even listen to anything for more than like a minute, because I'm like, oh my God, wait, I just totally changed my perspective on how I thought about this thing in my life. It's just been like boom, boom, boom. It's just been nonstop. It's been wild. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's been great. So that's my, I don't even know where I want to begin. Well, we'll begin with what I've been doing the last 3 hours, which has been walking in the park and listening to Esther Perel's book on, they just re-released it. It's 20 years old. It's called Mating in Captivity. It's about relationships.
Mating? Oh, mating. Okay.
Yeah, mating. It's about sex and romantic
mating in captivity.
Mating in captivity. But why I think it's really speaking to me, and why I was watching like the coaching, and I listened to a couple other podcasts about relationships, and again, because all these things are just helping me see why am I in certain relationships now that are resonating more with me, and versus I made a note on our forum about, I've grappled with these. I have relationships that I've been in for decades that I'm a little bit like, I've been confused about, like, why is it not feeling right anymore? Or what is it about it? And what does that mean about me? And so I think I'm in and dealing, like the stuff with my mom is I'm looking at my relationship with my family with new eyes, fresh eyes. So I think that's where I'm at right now, is like this relationship, really looking at relationships and this week at least, I'm in a place of really feeling clear on why certain relationships are really speaking to me and resonating and what they're mirroring to me. And those that aren't feeling that way, I had new perspective this week on why, and that's okay that they're shifting. Because I've been, I think, fighting it a little bit, that like people that I've been in a relationship with for a long time, that's been one of my, I'll say, I don't know, character qualities, whatever you want to say, that I have a lot of people in my life that I've had long-term relationships with. And I have felt like I had to sustain them. Even if it didn't feel right anymore, because I couldn't let it go. So I'll pause there for a minute and take a sip of water.
Well, like, I mean, it's no coincidence that you brought up like the duality of the high, because like you're still learning or remembering to fully accept the love. And like you keep bringing up, well, actually I keep bringing up the quote you brought up in Lighthouse of, we're not here, and I'll probably butcher it, but we're not here to seek for love. We're here to seek for the barriers to love. And so like you had this huge heart opening with your birthday. Yeah. And what we're really here is to know thyself, right? But we've been like taught it's like this personal development, know thyself, know Julie. But that's not where it's at. It's like this deeper layer of know thyself as like the truth, the Christ light, the I am, the before Abraham, the what we call you, Jules, is to know that. And so like I think you have unpeeled a layer of connection to the true self, right? And that's why you're all of a sudden like seeing all the miracles left and right. The connection is the miracle. And so you turn on a podcast and you're like, oh my gosh, this is for me, right? Like you get that feeling because literally everything is for you. It's just we're not seeing that. And so it's not curious, but like the relationship piece, it has been something you've grappled with for a long time, that like the specialness, right? We've talked about it over and over again, like the specialness of a relationship. And you've kind of made every relationship that you have like with at Form immediately special, like meaning you have these stories about, okay, we started this, it can never end, right? Like on my end, at least, I know I can't be the one to stop this. But then it's like where you're going is realizing like everyone is special. So it's like this confusing space of trying to figure out like, why do I still have this relationship, but not this one? Why does this one feel this way versus this one? Because you're still kind of in that belief that Julie is in charge of those relationships. You know what I mean? Like that's what I hear, but you're like grappling. That's why there's so much focus on it. Cause you're like, oh, but why is this way versus why is it that way? And it's really just a look at the relationship with yourself.
Yes.
In all these people.
I think, I have this new friend that I met here in my classes. I've had 2 classes with her. And I think it's been a little bit of a catalyst for when you really bond immediately with someone. Like how, why, what's going on there that we just click, and it's just, we both feel it and we both say it. And we're both like, I don't know what happened, how this happened. Not that it never has happened before, but it just is so strong, I guess. And, but what I have found is that we have been vulnerable. I even said to her like a week ago, I said, all right, I'm going to be vulnerable with you here and tell you exactly what I'm feeling about what you are showing me and why it feels so good to be around you. Mm-hmm. And it was this, I told her, I said, you have a zest for life. You're forging your own path. She's in a long-term marriage, but yet her and her husband are giving each other space to do what they want to do. Like, those are just her circumstances. But there were just some things I'm like, I just feel very resonant with the fact that that's what I'm doing. I think that's what I'm doing, giving myself permission to be whoever I need to be, want to be, following the joy, following the sparks of inspiration. And I see that in her too. Mm-hmm. And her life circumstances look different than mine, but I think there's that connection. And I told her, I've only known her a couple months. Like, I haven't known her that long. And I walked out of that lunch that day and I thought, oh my God, I literally just said to this person, I'm going to be very vulnerable and tell you exactly what it is I love about you. I was just like, who is this? Who is this person? Not because I wouldn't be open with people about that I care about them or whatever, but it's just at such a deeper level that I'm expressing. I might say, oh, I really like this person. In the past, I might have been like, I really like this person. They're really cool, or we have this in common, right? But to literally express, these are the things I see in you, and it's making me really happy to spend time with you. Mm-hmm. And she was like, I know, I feel the same, like that, which was cute. But yeah.
But what
I'm waiting to see what you think.
Yeah, what is she?
Me.
Okay. So,
meaning she's a mirror for who I am right now.
Well, for what you said, for how you see yourself right now.
That's the piece, right? Yeah, for how I see myself. Mm-hmm. So I can see it in her, and I told her, which is, I think,
and then guess what?
What?
And then guess what happened?
What?
So you had this conversation with her, and you specifically told her the specifics of what you like about her.
Yeah.
And then, holy crap, what happened on your birthday week?
Well, you mean all the people that I heard it from?
That
I opened the floodgates
No, you didn't open. You're literally witnessing how literally the statement of we see what we believe.
Oh.
And how I was talking earlier about your alignment, like your thoughts, your actions, your heart, all of it is beginning to align. And it felt uncomfortable, both scenarios, but we see oh my gosh, the belief in the mind is truly shifting, because it's not only what we're perceiving, it's also what the body appears to be doing. Mm-hmm. You're sharing with other specifics. I mean, even I've noticed, Julie, you definitely have given off this, this loving mother that maybe isn't super affectionate, but you always know she loves you greatly. And so in our relationship, I have been careful to say I love you, because I can feel the discomfort in you when I have said it in the past. But I will say, over the last couple months, every voice memo you send us in Lighthouse, every message you send me is always ended with, I love you. Mm-hmm. And so again, it's you're witnessing what you're feeling. And so things are all starting to align. And that's why you're now seeing the miracles left and right.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I would agree with that.
The question is does it really have anything to do with what this lady's doing or not doing in her life?
No. She just is a good mirror for, and and we just have fun, and we have fun conversation, and we drink wine before class, and and we just have fun together.
You get to be like a kid. You're like joyful with her.
Yeah, we get to be kids. I mean, she came in one day, it was like, I don't know, a week or two ago, and to lunch where we were meeting, and she goes, I don't know what to say, but I am just so happy today. And I just can't stand, like, she was like a kid, like practically jumping up and down. I'm like, I know, I feel it. So it's great.
Question, is she also the woman that one day you were already in class, she showed up to class, didn't look your way?
Yes.
And so it sparked the feelings of like, oh my gosh, what did I do wrong? Is she mad at me?
Yeah.
So to me, it's like truly in the space of like a holy relationship. Like you're able to fully receive the love of God through her. And that doesn't always mean it's comfortable, right? Like you had that moment where it was like super uncomfortable and you thought she was mad at you. And because it was a story, like, we talk about like when the light is there, like that was a story that came up in that moment.
Yeah.
So the invitation would be that you feel this joy with her, but if it all of a sudden changes and there isn't that joy, that doesn't mean that something bad has happened. Like I would invite you to go back to the Rumi quote, right? Of like, okay.
Yeah. It's a barrier to love.
There's a barrier here. What is this story that's blocking me from this love I know flows through our relationship? Like I know, I've felt it.
Yeah.
Wow. Do you see the correlation? Like with, like literally you had that thing with her and you shared specifics and you're like, oh my gosh, this is like totally not. I mean, like you said, you share that you love people and stuff, but like to literally go in detail.
Right. Yeah, for sure. And like you said, I guess it didn't correlate it with the way that friends were expressing the specifics to me. But I feel like I've been doing that and I've been sharing that more with other people, like my sister and sisters. And and I think I've always done that with my nieces, but still I feel like I just see it all everywhere, like you said. Yeah.
But it's like, and it's not always the positive specifics too, because I know you recently had that, that conversation you had with a classmate that maybe wasn't the most positive feeling for either of you. And you guys had a beautiful, what anybody else would say, uncomfortable, adversarial conversation, but that's not how it was experienced.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely felt when we had the conversation, the first conversation, I noticed a couple things, which was so this is someone in my class who has a very different view on how people should show up in the world around politics and world news, and that you absolutely have to pay attention to everything and know everything, or else you're basically naive and ignorant. And although he wasn't directly, I mean, I guess he was directly saying to me, since I don't do that, I took it as he was saying I was naive and ignorant as an American, the American thing too. And so for sure, it triggered enough in me that I felt the need to defend myself or explain myself, and not in not in an elevate. I mean, me, I'm just calm when I can still say these things in a calm way, but it was definitely, I could feel it and I also let it go on for way longer than I wanted to, because I felt like I had to keep almost like trying to sway him to my side. And vice versa. He was trying to do the same thing. So we were both like coming at it from that perspective. But then it resulted in 3 days later when I saw him in class, a completely different, he sat with it. I sat with it, for the weekend, clearly. And it turned around to the point where he shared with me he heard me say something that I'm confident I didn't say, but that's how he heard it. The words he shared with me, I was like, oh, that's not really how I feel. But I just said to him, well, if that's what you heard, then that's, then I hear where you're coming from. And that was it. Well, and that's all he needed, I think, because he had shared more in class about his family, childhood stuff, blah, blah, blah. So I think I got like just a little bit more information. I was like, so he has felt like people don't honor his perspective. And so when I didn't, again, do this intentionally. He just said, this is what I heard you say. And I said, I don't believe that. I don't believe it. So I maybe out of context, I don't know exactly how it was phrased. I said, but if that's what you heard, then yeah, okay. And then it turned into a very connecting moment where, and him, I mean, literally like touching my arm and saying, thank you for listening. And I, would like to stay in touch with you. And can we talk again? Like that.
And I'll store your stuff if you need.
And I'll store your stuff if you need it. If you need a place for it, anything.
So, like the peanut butter jelly we talk about, where it doesn't matter what words you use, what matters is your intention behind it. So it's like you shared, when you sent this in the voice memo, I was like, oh, wow, this is a real representation of peanut butter jelly in the attack form. Yeah. Because you heard him tell you that you're ignorant and this because you don't follow the rules, he said.
Yeah.
But you have awareness to the point that you could acknowledge, like, that was my conclusion versus the words he actually said, which whatever. But you were in attack in that, like, that's why the form doesn't matter. Like with your birthday and stuff, you were able to receive love and it didn't matter the form. And even though you can show up calm as a cucumber or cool as a cucumber, whatever the statement is, if you're coming from a place of attack, that's how it's received. And peanut butter jelly, doesn't matter what words you said or how you used them, it was received as attack. And like, it's, that we always talk about, like, put down the sword. You're the only one fighting. And that was like a direct example. That's what you did. It has nothing to do what he needed. Yeah, maybe in that moment you use that excuse for yourself to like say those words, because it's never about him. It's about what you needed to hear. You needed to validate your own self that it didn't matter either way if you watch the news or not watch the news, if you're this or that. And so you put down the sword. You're like, okay, like, this isn't about right or wrong. This is about like, I want to connect with you because I want to connect with myself. And then that's what you received.
Yeah, it was it was unexpected because I had already left class and then he came out in the parking lot. And then it just turned into such a beautiful connection, like you're saying. And to the point where it's almost like it doesn't make sense in that he's like, and if you need me to store anything for you, I will. Yeah. And I was like, okay.
Random.
Thank you. Random. Thank you. So, yeah.
Well, and didn't you say he even said that because he knows you're going to be traveling to America a lot, which is funny because he used you being an American as part of the attack before.
It was all, interconnect. But I was like, I was like, that's so kind of you. Thank you. That's the second person that I've had do that, for which I think is so interesting. I don't know. When my driver had said the same thing to me, my driver that I met last year, and when I was leaving, and I said I was leaving a suitcase at the school, and he's like, I can store stuff for you. I was like, okay. Oh. It's so nice. Yeah, it's so nice. So.
When you think about that interaction with him, not the second interaction, the first interaction.
The first one?
Yeah. How do you feel like about it?
Well, what I noticed was, so that was on last Friday, and then I went to yoga on Sunday because I think I was struggling with it a little. That's what I mean by the low. I think that contributed to being kind of a low of that week. And I went to yoga and I had a beautiful class. And then I came back here on my street and I had this interaction with a guy and his dog, and the dog growled at me. I didn't walk up. I was just walking down the street. I wasn't doing anything. And the dog growled at me. And I have to tell you, it upset me so much. I was so upset that the guy said, he goes, oh, well, you know, guys just don't click or whatever. And I said, well, that's never happened to me before. So I wanted to I was mad at him because I wanted to be like, get your dog under control. I didn't say any of that. I just said, well, that's never happened to me before. And I came into my place and I was like, wow, you're really fine. You're really looking for attack here. This is a dog that, oh, God only knows. Oh, I was carrying groceries and a yoga mat and all this stuff. And who knows why he growled or talked. Maybe he was just talking. I don't know. But I latched onto that like nobody's business and felt attacked and wanted to attack back. And I thought, so to answer your question, I think that was kind of the leftovers of that conversation I was mad. I was mad about it. I was mad about it. I was mad at myself for feeling like I needed to defend myself. I was mad at him for making me feel like I thought we were just going to get together. He said he wants to move to America. So I thought we were just going to get together and talk about like fun stuff, you know? And it turned into a somewhat heavy conversation. So, but then thankfully I had a PQT because we talked on Monday, which I didn't initiate. So I'm grateful that it happened so that I could release it and move on.
But when you think about the first conversation, how do you feel inside when you talk about it? Like, I know all this beautiful stuff has happened, but does it really feel complete?
I feel defensive. I feel defensive about people's commentary on people. This particular, but it's also a kind of a thing I've heard more than one time is the stance on the United States and that we should be ashamed, you know, that there should be shame of how America is behaving and everything in politics. And so I feel defensive about that. The first thing I said in that conversation was, you can't generalize about Americans. There's 300 million Americans. Like you can't. So I can tell I feel defensive about something that I'm not even sure why I feel defensive about it. I claim that I don't care. I don't spend a lot of time thinking about politics and what's going on, but I don't want anyone, don't like it when there's blame being pointed at one person and at a country. It's like, that's just ridiculous to me, but I do feel defensive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I felt it in you. I mean, you definitely sway from one to the other with the second conversation.
Mm-hmm.
But like if we take all the form things out of it, right? Like cuz it's like right now I feel you searching for justification, like like even talking about what he's doing and how you feel about it. Like I almost feel like you're trying to sway me and like which is you trying to convince yourself still. And so it's like when we are in these moments of seeing reflection that's uncomfortable, because that's what you're seeing. We talked about it in Lighthouse with Scott, about some stuff that she was struggling with, and it's not about, we were talking like, there's crappy thoughts inside of us, Julie, that we don't want to admit are true. Right. And so like, that's what I feel right now. I feel like right now you have like, I've talked about like the Mother Teresa syndrome or whatever that I created, where you have this knowingness of what you want to be. But the reality is like, you're not witnessing that at the level of form. You're getting mirrors, because you even said it's not just him, it's been other people. And I know it has too, of like this being brought up and politics being the backdrop for this story. So I guess my invitation to you would be really ask, like, and maybe right now is not the moment because it still feels very like resistance there to it, but like allow yourself to be open to exploring what mirrors might come from that, and maybe ask if it's teenage Julie or little Julie or someone on the committee that's having a different thought than what you're thinking, because that's the conflict, right? There's like actually a different thought than what you're thinking in there. And it doesn't have to be about the politics, right? It's never actually about that. It's about something else, but it's hiding behind that. So that's what we're using as the platform for it in this moment. But remember like how we had this conversation in Lighthouse about like it was hiding behind what we really want to say, how we really want to show up. That feels irritating.
I think it, for sure. But I think it's at least one thing that's coming to me is like, I think I've flipped to the side of, and this is what we talked about my sister last time, was I want everything to be good. I want everything to be positive. I don't want to intentionally go look at things that I think are negative at this time. But then to your point, it's bringing up, is that naive or ignorant? Or I'd said on Lighthouse, like I'm an intelligent person, but I'm selectively choosing, to not look at certain things. I know I'm saying it because just this morning I watched a podcast, like one of the more popular ones, and they do pop culture a little bit. And I almost wrote a comment on there that I was going to say, thank you for bringing in the positive message from America, which was like with the Knicks winning and the World Cup being in the United States and then North America. And they were like, we know there's a lot of heavy stuff going on, but we really want to focus on how these sporting events are bringing people together. And I almost wrote a comment. I don't write comments on their thing. So I definitely focus. And then once they started talking about something else on Netflix, like something kind of icky, in my opinion, I turned it off. I was like, I don't want to hear that. I don't want to know about that. I don't want to hear that. So for sure, anybody bringing up something about what I perceive to be negative, I just am like, nope. I don't think that's wrong. I don't think it's wrong, but I think it's bringing up the ignorance word in my head. Is that being ignorant?
But so you literally just said, I don't want people bringing up anything that I don't, anything that I perceive as negative. And earlier you put in this moment. So what that was an immediate acknowledgement that was like, that's a story, that's a judgment, and it can change at any given moment. Right? Which is like where the fear comes in and the stories and all of this, because it's, it's like we literally talked about in Lighthouse about the book, Let Them. It's like it has nothing to do with him. So if you just let him or let the next guy or the next guy, there's going to be more and more guys that show up and more women and more podcasts that bring in the other aspect, because it's like you are on a side of a coin. You have decided that there's positive and negative in the world.
Yeah.
But right now you're experiencing the opposite at such mass capacity, right? Like that everyone is special. Like you're hearing from like random people, like your aura, like it's just getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
Right? And then the dog, right? Like, because I know you think the same thing about dogs as I do. Yeah, is that they can sense auras and they have like think of the dog in Bon Air. The Dalmatian loved you. Like, it's probably still grieving its loss of you, and you weren't even there that long.
Animals love me. Let me be clear.
But they don't love you, Julie, when you are coming from attack.
I know.
So what did that show us? It showed us, which you acknowledge that, oh my gosh, I want to attack and I feel as though I'm being attacked. Right? And so we know, you said earlier, the high is because we are feeling the flood of the light and the joy.
Yeah.
And then you're like, well, this partook kind of in the low. No, it was the damn low, because you threw yourself back into the ego.
So I was like a dog of all people.
But it started with the conversation with the guy.
It started with that. I think it did. Because I feel like there was something that happened that it felt attack. And then the dog situation, which, as you know, I've told you, I mean, animals run up to me and approach me and people will be like, oh my God, they never approach anybody.
Or butterflies. I mean, like you've been having lots of those experiences.
All the things.
Yeah.
So I was really, that's what I mean. I'm still thinking about it, obviously. I was really upset that dog reacted to me that way. And I wanted to be mad at the owner and be like, get your shit together. Like, this is my street. Get off, get out of here.
What does that, like, when you think right now of a dog reacting to you, that dog, any dog, but specifically that dog right now, the way it did, what does that mean about Julie? Like, what does that signify? And not analytical. I want you to just let your heart, like,
no, like my aura isn't as great as I thought it was. Something's off. Yeah.
Which means what about you?
Yeah, that I'm a bad person. Because why would it? That just is like, I literally don't know if it's ever happened to me before. So the fact, I was serious when I meant it when I said that, but it kind of reiterated like, something's not, you're not as loving as you think you are. You're not yeah. That's it.
What does it mean to not be as loving? Or like, I mean, I'm gonna enter in the opposite word, not opposite, but like, someone else's actions, or as lovable, because that's what he was showing you is like, you're not lovable as you think you are. Like, what does that mean?
Well, I think it means I'm not special.
And what if you're not special?
I don't like it. That's what it means. I don't like it. I feel like I pour all this effort into being kind and generous and positive and loving and I honestly get 90% of that back. I see you, whatever the number is, but the few instances, you know what it reminded me of? You remember the guy in St. Pete that I was walking along the water and it was another one of those examples where I was having such a great day. No.
Oh, no, not, okay. I'm thinking something else.
I have two instances where I was in such a good mood and I was walking on the water and this guy on a bike comes by and looks at me and says, asshole.
Oh, so it is what I was remembering, Julie.
Oh, you thought it was in a bad space?
Like, when we unpacked it in your call, we found out that there was lingering story. Like, we'd have to look back. But yes, it wasn't that you were in a bad space. I probably used not great words. But there was a story that was grappling beneath about something that you had done or something that someone else hadn't done. And so you were... Yes, there was something there. Of course,
I'm not remembering it like that. I'm remembering I was in a good mood and someone just looked at me and said asshole.
And attacked you.
And I was just like, I'm literally walking down the street. What the hell am I doing?
Yeah. Because we unpacked it because we talked about how if you truly were in that good mood you thought you were, would it have mattered that they said that? And you're like, no. And so then I remember we unpacked more and found out, I feel like it was to do with an intimate relationship at that time, but it doesn't matter what it was actually about.
Yeah. Right.
What matters is like, we only get prickled for things that we believe are true.
Well, that's why it makes sense. And I knew it made sense on Sunday that after that conversation with my classmate that I didn't feel good about it. And I did feel like I had attacked back and not in a, why do I have to caveat this? I always have to be because I wasn't mean.
Because that's what you think. You think attack can only be in the mean form. And I feel like that's what we're unwinding actually right now in this conversation, Julie. Because that is your go-to, that I am cool cucumber. Like, I'm just like easy breezy. Why is this dog barking at me? Why is this guy?
Literally, my friend that I mentioned earlier, the new friend that I'm in love with. Let me think. I had met with the classmate first, and then I had lunch with this new friend. And I said just to her, because she said, how was your conversation, And I said just like a sentence or two, and that it didn't go the way I thought it would. And I said, I think I really prickled him. I said triggered. I really triggered him. And she goes... It's so funny. She goes, you triggered him. And that's exactly how I feel. I'm like,
she's a really good mirror of you right now.
I know she literally enacted it like you. And I was like, I know. How is that even possible? I do feel that way. I'm like, how is it possible that I sat there calmly talking about this topic with this person, but he I was still coming. Apparently, I felt attacked, and therefore I returned it.
Mm-hmm. Remember peanut butter and jelly? Form doesn't matter. So like it, I mean, I know what a lot of times it's called like sideways anger or someone beating, like you can feel that, like, when someone is attempting to ruffle your feathers, even with the kindest words there are, right? Because they know the words to say to get it ruffled.
I want to say he started it.
Right. See, because that's where we're at. Because
I know.
Really, we talk about like after a fight or whatever with someone, we feel like crap, even though in the moment we may feel self-righteous, right? We may feel this release. And we talked about that in Lay House of this dopamine when we talked about Scott responding in a certain way that wasn't actually in alignment with how she felt. In the moment, she would feel good. But then later she would feel this like shame and guilt and regret. Yeah. And what we were talking about with her was like showing up in a manner of being like complacent, right? Like that would make her not feel good versus attack. And so we see that right now, it's the peanut butter jelly. It doesn't matter what words you said or didn't say. It was your intention behind it, which was coming from a place of ego. You weren't listening to what really wanted to come out in that moment. And so it was a conversation of attempting to convince yourself, one another, because at the end of the day, like, who is he? Think bigger. Who is he?
You're saying I'm talking to myself.
Yeah. So you feel like shit because like literally there was no love with yourself in that conversation from you or from seemingly Julie's body or his body.
But
there was no love anywhere.
Yeah. No, there was blame. So back to what I said, I was like, I can't believe he's dumping this shit on me when I already told him I'm not talking about this topic. Like, it's not a topic that interests me and I'm not interested in discussing it further. And so, yeah, we got into all that.
So again, like because it has nothing to do with him.
I know.
But,
no.
But it is hiding behind politics.
It's the defensive. Well, the fact that I never thought I was defensive, I haven't had that experience before. Meaning in the last couple months when people have talked about America and how do I feel about it, I feel like I've just been like, hey, this is how I feel about it. And I haven't had that mirror of like attack or being defensive about it. I'm like, hey, and I think he didn't respond in the same way that others have responded when I gave the same part, like my same party line about it. And he wanted to keep going, or he did say more things that I was like, oh no, you can't generalize. There's 300 million Americans. Like you can't, it's a big country. People have the right to their own perspectives.
But that statement is contradicting to how you feel about politics, how you share to other people about how you feel about politics.
I think people can have their own perspective about it.
But they better not share it with you.
I really just don't like to talk about it now.
But do you see? It's like something, it's deeper, like it's hiding.
Yeah, because, I do, because it's what I said earlier about I perceive that to be a negative conversation and therefore I don't want to engage.
So it's really about, you've put politics, right? It's so hard not to like get back into that because it is such a heated place.
It's such a,
we could be talking about dog breeds, right? Like you're passionate about this type of dog breed, but it's politics. So yes, you just said it, Julie. I perceive that to be negative, which means you perceive there to be a right and wrong, a positive, a negative, which is the duality, which we know is the ego. And so, oh, go ahead.
Well, it's just your question that you asked us to think about on Lighthouse, which is, what is the story I'm telling myself versus what do I really believe?
Yes, that was my next question.
What I'm really telling myself is that I don't care about it. And it's negative, and I don't want to spend energy on something negative like that. And I can't fix it. So I can't fix it either. But what do I really believe? This is the intellectualizing, this is why I said the comment about being, that I feel like I'm an intelligent person last week, because I'm using my intellect is using the course and the fact that things happening at the level of form in the world aren't real, and it's an illusion, and I'm doing that. Like, so why would I spend my time focusing on something that isn't real anyway? I'm just choosing not to partake in it or engage in it. And so then I think I get a little stuck there, but it makes sense why it triggers but I'm an intelligent person. I should be able to figure this out. Like, I should have it. Yeah.
So how we do one thing is how we do all things. And when we're in love, I guess, let's say, how you do one thing is like, love is just the same, all the same. But right now we can see that you're like going back and forth, because earlier we highlighted the importance of stuff happening at form, because it's showing us the mind healing, right? Like, people texted you and told you how amazing you were. And like, you highlighted how detailed you shared with your friend about how she felt, right? But then now something that's uncomfortable, we're like, that's an illusion. That doesn't matter. Because it's uncomfortable.
Well, it's uncomfortable. And the other piece I'm going to throw in is that, I don't know, but it's been a sticking point for me. So there's more to it than what I'm about to say. But it's also, I truly don't want to spend my time thinking about politics. I really don't. It's like if someone wanted to talk about world wrestling, I could give a shit. I don't want to talk about world wrestling or whatever, WWF or whatever. It's like, there are topics that I don't care. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to sit there with somebody who's going to tell me about some sport or some historical event or some whatever. And if I'm just like, I don't want to talk about this. And so why isn't that enough to be like, I don't want to talk about it, and I don't have to. But evidently.
Right. And why is it evidently? Because I think that's what we need to see is
because
evidently
it's been prickling me throughout different times in my life. Yeah.
And you're perceiving it, right? Like, that's the key here, is like, you even brought up in Lighthouse, you like, this sticky thing is like, I don't want to see this. I don't want to have a conversation about politics. Why is that so hard? And then you're like, oh, but if I'm seeing it, I still want to, right? Like,
I know.
Oh, crap.
I really don't want to. How can I get rid of that?
But so you can't. And it's like, why is it so hard for you to accept that you do want it, right? Like, because you're fighting that. Like, you can even intellectually, right, tell me, I know that what I believe and what I want to see is exactly what I'm perceiving. Yeah. But in the same aspect, you're like, but no, not this one. This is the one. I think this one has come up multiple times.
We've never had multiple times. I do live in another country, so I'm
but even before that, it came up in the States when
for sure.
I remember like it's been a thing. So I think really it's about being aware that this is really being used right now. And being open like you were, like even though maybe consciously you weren't fully aware of how it was being used, to me it shows that second conversation you had with the guy that you're starting to be okay with wanting to talk about, right? But not in like the conscious, like, oh, I want to start talking about politics now. But the truth is, like, until you get to the middle where it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, then
we still have stories tied up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But in that moment, you got to, it doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. You got to, like, this is how you heard it.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
Right.
Which means you told Julie, little Julie, whoever feels like he pissed her off. Right?
Yeah.
She wants to feel validated that maybe she wanted to argue about politics, but you told her she could. You know what I mean? Like maybe that was a moment where that was what you were going to see at the level of form, but that's the peanut butter jelly. Like you literally could have an argument about politics, but be coming from a space of spirit and be like, I don't know where that came from. You've recently actually had moments like that, mm-hmm. maybe not arguing, mm-hmm. but conversations mm-hmm. with people where you're like,
I have.
Where'd that come from?
Yeah. No, I have. Well, and I think that this is the first, at least recent one that I can think of, that when I have shared my perspective on it, I got pushback. I would say that I have shared similarly, like, this is how I feel about it. This is, I think it's a distraction or whatever the words were that I said. Where, blaming one leader, one person is not the answer to anything. That just keeps us all in victim mindset. And so, but it was received differently in other conversations where people were like, oh, and that was it. Like then there wasn't, like you said, it wasn't a back and forth debate.
Mm-hmm.
So probably goes with my need to feel intelligent and like, oh, well, that was received that time.
Mm-hmm.
And then this time it wasn't received. Mm-hmm. And there was a lot of pushback and there was a lot of, and again, from him, a lot of elevation of needing to make the point. And so then it elevated me too. Mm. You match to some degree unless you're really aware. And I'm pretty aware, but you match people's energy sometimes when you're feeling attacked.
Right. You only match their energy when you believe.
Yeah.
Like, because that's where the oneness is, right? Like, it's not about matching someone's energy per se. It's about, I see in them what I'm really upset about myself. Mm-hmm. So then it starts to appear that way, right? And maybe it's not even like your actions. Maybe one person's voice raises, the other person gets quieter. Because our bodies respond differently.
Yeah.
And show up differently for attack. And so, yeah, I feel like it's an opportunity for a rock to see to really allow yourself permission, give yourself, do a journaling exercise, invitation, and it could be voice journaling, whatever, but not until you feel called. I feel like this is one, right now you I feel resistance with you, and it's pointless to push through it. Like, that's not how we operate.
Yeah.
So when you feel ready to do a thought experiment about like asking the different committee members within you. So like teenage Julie, little Julie, compliance officer Julie, like visualize yourself going around the table and like making it a safe space to share what they feel about politics. Because right now it's too prickly for us to just ask Julie.
Oh yeah, I would agree with that.
So let's use the other things we've used, the committee. So it's not going to be about Julie. It's going to be about these different versions of Julie and how she feels about politics. I mean, the compliance officer might have a completely different idea than the little, maybe the little girl's like, I love politics. I want to be the next president. I don't know, right? You know what I mean? But
all right.
But right now, it doesn't feel like it would be.
Well, like you said, I'm that's fine. I'll do it when it comes up. Yeah.
Much resistance. So question then.
Yeah.
Because I feel like this question has been really helpful lately, is like, when you think about all of this, like we just talked about, and I can feel the heaviness, what one thing do you think could move you closer to peace about it right now in this moment? Whether it's sharing something, writing, whatever, like what comes up?
I don't know. The only thing that's coming up is I don't want to. I don't want to talk about it. That's the only thing that's coming up. I don't want to. I don't want to spend my energy on it. I don't want to spend any time thinking about something that and I don't even totally think it's negative. I think it's not only about it being negative, because it's not totally the truth. I don't think it's all negative. I think there are people trying to do the right thing. But I don't know. It's just like this topic that I'm just like, I don't want to waste energy on this. That's it.
So right now, do you feel like you're at peace?
No.
Okay.
No.
So
no, definitely not.
So would you say what you just shared with me in comparison to how you're experiencing right now are in alignment?
No, it doesn't feel peaceful. So therefore there's still something there. Of course, I get it.
No, I'm not even saying like, let's go deeper back into the topic.
Right.
Like we're talking about transitioning out of this topic, and you feel heavier now than you did when we were actually in the topic, right? And so you just told me essentially where you would get closer to peace is if we just stopped talking about it, right? Like you said, I don't want to talk about all those things. Same thing.
Yeah. There's a bit of like, I don't want it's teenage version of me. I don't want anyone telling me what I have to care about. And if I say I don't care about it, I don't care about it. And I'm not going to go there with you. It's like I don't have an example coming to my mind, but it's like, It's the just deal with it. Just tolerate this. Other people want to talk about fucking politics all the goddamn time. And I don't want to. I don't care. And I don't want to say I don't care because, again, that'll be perceived
stop
negatively.
Like, you're trying, like, anyone, like, if anyone watches this, they're meant to watch this. And so the reality is, like, you do, like,
well, I'm saying it to you too, regardless of that. I'm saying I don't want to be perceived. When I say I don't care, I care that there are things happening in the world, but I don't want to spend my time on it.
I think we found the conflict right here.
Well, I don't want anyone telling me what I have to care about.
And I think you're still telling yourself, because you're adding a caveat to it, Julie. You're literally adding a caveat. When you say you don't care, you put a caveat of care.
Yeah.
Because
I should care. No, it's like I should care.
Yes. And so you put a caveat to make people think, to try to convince yourself. Right?
Well, now we've just wound ourselves into a place of now it's too confusing. Now I don't know what I think. I'm like, I should, I feel like society says I should care. I'm arguing with myself about caring, and it's something I just am really not that interested in. So therefore, where does that leave me? In a state of swirling.
Which is the most, like, I know it's the most uncomfortable state for you, Julie, but I know, and you know, that it's this, like, you have to get into the swirl of the stories that are battling right now. Because only then can you let them free.
Yeah, when I'm starting to get lightheaded. For sure.
Yeah, which is the best. Like, I know it's the most uncomfortable, but we know what comes. Like, if we just sit and you don't ever feel lightheaded or heated, it can be a beautiful day, but we know there's no rocks presenting themselves, which sometimes we have those moments.
Yeah.
But this is a rock. Why is it not okay for Julie to just truly not give an F about the state of America, about politics, about anything else but what's in her perception right here, right now?
Because people judge you.
As what? Like, what would be the judgment if, like, you were like, oh,
well,
I don't care. Like,
said.
if you literally told someone, I don't care.
Well, that's what got reflected back. It's naive. It's ignorant. You're stupid, basically. It's just absolutely. It's like it's in front of everyone's face, at least in the States and here, apparently, that Americans are so ignorant because they don't care about what's going on in the world.
Do you think, if I told you, Julie, like, I'm your friend, you care about me, you actually know this about me, do you think I'm naive and ignorant? Like, I don't watch the news. Like, I don't really, I can see that the state of the U.S. and politics and everything else are playing a vital role in many people's lives,
right,
to, like, bring up stories. But I don't. Either way, I don't really care to talk about it, and I don't really care not to. It just is. It's just one of those things. So would you say that, like, I'm naive, ignorant, and stupid?
No.
But right now, you're telling yourself. I mean, you literally had a conversation the other day with a man. So why is it different for me versus the body that's Julie?
Because I think I'm attached to the like defining quality of me being that I'm smart, and that means not that it doesn't mean you're smart. I don't think that, but
No, like
for
don't get into that, but
myself,
yes.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
for myself, that means for some reason it's poking that then you're actually not that smart if you think that something that everyone else in the world cares about, or whatever, broadly speaking, and I don't care about it, that really makes me question how intelligent am I really.
So what does it mean to be smart or intelligent? Like at the most fundamental basics, right? Like I don't want like this overarching. I want to mean like, how does one person get smart? Get intelligent?
Well, of course, I've always like school, knowledge, learning.
Knowledge.
Yeah.
So knowledge. Obtaining knowledge. Learning new things.
Mm-hmm.
What else?
I think that's it.
Okay. And so then by obtaining, like you'd have to be aware of things to obtain knowledge. You'd have to seek it out, right?
Yeah, you'd have to seek it. Mm-hmm.
So who do you believe has control over the amount of knowledge or learning of new things occurs?
Well, what do you mean I do?
Okay, so Julie does. So Julie is in charge. Right? Isn't that what you just told me? Julie's in charge of
I'm in charge of what information I seek. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so you're in charge of your intelligence. Okay. So that means if Julie chooses not to do something, it can impact her intelligence. But if she chooses to do something, it can impact her intelligence. Right? Either way.
No.
No. What do you mean, no?
I don't know. I don't think not knowing about certain things, and this is in conflict, obviously, but I don't know a lot of things. I know about things I have chosen to explore and obtain knowledge of and learn about. Mm-hmm. Maybe it's more like the ability to do so. I don't expect myself to know everything about everything. I don't want to. I'm very focused on certain things that I want to spend my time and energy on, like psychology and coaching, and obviously some spirituality, like journeys and growth and people's stories and whatever the things are that I choose. That again, I'm interested in. I think it's also intelligent to be selective in the things. I don't want to spend time on topics. Like not everyone, when you're in school, and I got a D in economics and I got an A in French and I got an A in math. And I liked those topics because they just made sense to me. They spoke to me. And then there were topics where I was like, if I never have to talk about economics again, I'll be very happy. And so,
which economics is right up there with politics. So this has always been a story.
Yeah.
Right? Like they're in pretty much the same blanket. Like,
true. Yeah, how it impacts, they impact each other. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Okay, so now we're gonna move to a different reflection. So just kind of let that there.
Thank God, because
Right.
now
Yeah.
my
But we're coming
mind
back.
is like foggy.
Which is exactly where we want you to be, because that means you're letting go, but it's kind of scary. So you're in the swirl.
Yes,
You're letting, you're still witnessing the stories, but you're not quite sure which story to latch on to right now. We don't want you to latch on. So that's why we're not hanging up the call. What do you believe about this journey, Julie? Who do you think is in charge?
Is that a trick question?
No, it's a real question.
God.
Okay. So when you say God's in charge, what does that mean?
I think it means like the experiences I have, the people I interact with, the whatever is part of, it's more a God, I guess, in that like my soul is seeking certain experiences for its own growth. And so again, it's not everything. It's some things based on what I think God's plan is for my growth and development.
Okay. So can we call your soul Jules? Because that's like how we usually refer to it. So Jules is seeking certain experiences, whether it's with people, places, things, whatever, relationships with experiences for her own growth, but not all things. She only uses some things. So when she's not seeking, like when it's not Jules's plan, does she just like clock out for the day and then is like, all right, Julie, I feel like you've learned, like, I feel like I'm tired. You take the wheel for the rest of the day. Is that what happened? No, I'm just honestly, I don't think okay. So what happens then?
Well, it's like I said on this week, on Tuesday, when I told you I was in the flow all day long. And I listened to a couple podcasts about relationships, and it really sparked me. And I did like an hour of audio notes about what I think about it and how my relationships in my life have shown me who I am and changed my perspective. And like, I was just like, things were just coming in, and I was processing and like having these epiphanies of like, oh my God, that's why that relationship was so, it might have been challenging, but look at what I learned from it. And like, I was just all of these different ones, but I listened to a couple things that just were like a little bit of information that just prompted those thoughts and that awareness. And then I wrote something about my mom because it was something I was feeling upset about, and I shared it with my writing group, and that seemed to open a lot of emotional release, and that I was completely unexpected. But it just felt like a day of following one thing after another. I'm paying attention to relationships. I did some writing and journaling because that speaks to me and feels good to me. And then I shared it, and then got a little bit of, feedback. And then again, I don't know what else happened, the music and stuff the rest of the day. So I don't know if that's answering your question, but what I'm saying is that I'm following the flow. I'm following paying attention to things and information that, for lack of a better way of saying it, that really speak to me and that help me with my awareness and growth, and that feel good. in some way that keeps me engaged, because I wouldn't have done all that. I listened to things for about an hour and a half. I journaled for about an hour and a half. I wrote something later in the day. I just kept following it, one thing after the other.
Mm-hmm. So kind of like Hansel and Gretel, or following the yellow brick road. Like, it was already laid. You just followed the joy, and you followed the path.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what you're saying? Or did you lay the path?
No, I think I laid it in ways of, like, there is a podcast person that I like, and I went and found her podcast and picked a couple episodes, and then that kind of led me forward. So I picked that to listen to.
So then that would mean if Julie picked it, that Jules clocked out for the day. Because that would mean you had to have the option to not pick that, instead of the opposite would be that Jules knows Julie's preferences. She knows she likes this podcast lady. And so everything has been aligning for you to listen to prompt these things. So I'm just asking, which is the way that you think?
I know where you're going. So you're saying that I'm not trusting whether politics is a topic I need to be I'm blocking it from even being in my awareness or not, because I'm insisting on a certain viewpoint about it.
No. Because it's not about that. It's about what we actually uncovered. Like, so now you've switched back to, like, when we had this interaction with a very adversarial male that you're like, oh, you're saying I need to go have coffee with him. That's what I know you're saying. I know you're telling me that I need to, but really it was the acceptance of something that you felt was inappropriate, which was blocking the person.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That was the acceptance. And so right now, what I hear you not accepting, we talked about earlier, is you not caring. Like, you truly, in your gut, in your heart, do not care about these things. Mm-hmm. But all the stories you've developed that you're still holding on to is that Julie is in charge of being intelligent, and that means she must obtain all information. Yes, I know consciously, Julie, that you reflected that it was kind of a caveat, so it's something you want to believe, is that only the things I enjoy doing, right? That I feel like good about.
Yeah, so
that feel positive.
We're not fully there yet.
But you couldn't question that unless you truly, and that's why I don't think we're done with the actual questions we're at, because I'm not quite sure that you fully believe that Julie's not in charge. Because what you just shared with me was very much that Julie's in charge, and she's the one that created the day of flow because of her preferences.
No, I think I followed it. That's it. So I'm not saying I created it. I'm saying I was aware enough to follow those things that came up for me and stay in them because of how it felt.
So what I'm trying to reflect is that, yes, that is how it appears.
Yeah.
But if you believe that you made the choice to follow it, that means that you can make the choice not to follow it. So then the politics thing is why because your stories are conflicting. You believe this about intelligence and what it should look like. And then you have these beliefs you want to believe about intelligence, about being able to focus on what you actually like. And we've seen this with your school. I mean, this makes complete sense, Julie. Like you have started to, it started like really with your pottery class was the first time you were so aware of it and you did it, where you signed up for this thing and you didn't like it.
Yep.
And so instead of sticking with it, like we would think, like you paid for it, all these things, you're like, I'm not going to go today. Maybe I'll go next week. And then you just didn't end up going.
Right.
And then that has circled into a class even now, which, whoa, that feeds way into our stories of intelligence, right? Of not like finishing through a class, something we signed up that has to do with knowledge.
Right.
So I feel like then now in this politics place, it's really about the exercise we brought up earlier is understanding what the underlying stories are. But then it's like calling the bullshit meter on yourself of like asking, like, what do I truly believe? You know, this question earlier. Right. And I wouldn't say it's about politics, right? What do I truly believe about politics? Do I truly believe that I'm in control here? Do I truly believe that I am arrogant to God in this moment?
No, and
that's
again,
not trusting Jules.
I know. And again, I would say to you, no. Consciously, I can say, no, I don't think I'm in charge. But clearly the fact that it's just, like you said, it's just an example of an area that's hanging me up because I've accepted it in a lot of other areas that I'm like, cool. Let's go.
Yes.
Let's follow the spark.
And you're so good at it.
And the inspiration. And I don't finish books if I don't want to. I don't go to class now if I don't want to. I don't go on dates if I don't want to. I don't sleep with people if I don't want to. Like,
right.
But this is one where I'm still feeling like the force of, like you said, resistance, but like, the force of energy that's out there around this topic and judgment around Americans and like I said, where we began, which is I feel defensive about it. Like, I just don't think that that's helpful or useful to be blaming one person or blaming and saying people in this entire country are stupid. It's like that just... you're ultimately, I get what you're saying. There's something deeper there because I'm not just defending. I want to say I'm not just defending myself. I'm defending, like, it's not okay to judge an entire country. I think that is stupid, that you would judge an entire country over what's happening. So I know I'm getting caught up in it.
Yeah, in the logistics, but I think to go there a little bit at least, because it's like this, you're gonna probably swirl again, but like this is just where we're at, Julie. You are literally saying about politics exactly what you are doing to yourself in this moment.
That I'm
well, how can you judge the intelligence of an entire country based on one belief, right? Because that's what they're doing. They're taking one belief and then they're placating out. And you're saying, I'm not intelligent because of one subject in the entire world amongst like zillions of other subjects. I don't give a crap about.
Well, that's what I mean.
And it happens to be this.
That's the conflict. I'm like, I don't care. So why is this topic something that's causing me to have, what's the word, like internal, what's the word? Where you fight
Conflict.
with your, well, there's a word, dissonance. Yeah.
Oh, because so listen to my words for a second.
Okay.
You are literally saying that you do not like to talk about politics because you think it's not helpful, essentially, or, not good, that you judge an entire country based on one opinion or one view of something.
Right.
You are telling yourself that you are measuring, right? Because someone says you're ignorant, not smart, because you are not partaking in one topic in the entire world. Do you see? It's like you're fighting the same battle.
Yeah.
Because you literally just said to me, you're like, yeah, Ashley, because I don't even care about this topic. But we know you feel like you should. That's the problem.
Right. Yeah, because there's a million topics, as I mentioned, that I would be like, I don't care. Don't care.
Right.
I don't care.
Because you truly don't believe there's a should after it. You just truly, it just is. It's just a topic. Like knitting, I learned to knit. Like you weren't like, oh my God, like teach me how to knit. But you weren't like, oh my God, that's awful, Ashley. Shouldn't talk about knitting. It was just like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Right.
It's not like you've now decided like, oh my gosh, if I don't learn to knit, I'm not intelligent.
Right now, I don't think that.
Right. Because this underlying belief of what intelligence is, how you get to intelligence, and your belief of how you get to intelligence, Julie, it's Julie's job. Julie gets to decide how intelligent she is or not.
So it's back to what we always talk about in Lighthouse, which is trust and surrender to God's plan, which is hard sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Not all the time, like I said. Just this is one area that seems to be, I'm stuck on it because, like you said, what it just came to me was like my class last year that I was here for, 20 other people, that every single one of them was so immersed and enmeshed in politics and what's going on in the world. And, oh my God, you have to do something. And I'm like, I'm on a spiritual journey. I'm busy.
Yeah.
I'm too busy to be bothered with that.
Mm-hmm. You had like an excuse, right, to not let the story come forward. But now it's like you have this different knowingness of the free space within you. We've talked about when it comes to like the shame and guilt around your family. And it's like it gets used against you a lot with the ego. It tries to act like you have extra time. You should be doing these things now. But really, the space within you is because you're letting go of stories. So everybody has this quote unquote extra space.
Right.
But I mean, today we got to bring a shit ton of awareness to something that's been hiding.
Yeah, it's been there for a long time, like you said.
I mean, how do you feel? Like, how do you feel right now?
Well, the lightheadedness subsided, so that's good.
That's a plus. I still feel resistance from you, but I feel like with these heavier things that we've been uncovering.
Yeah, I think. No, I think it makes sense that just like any topic that we've talked about over the years that continued to what did we say? We're in relationship with everything. So this is one of the relationships that I haven't let go of the expectations around. I have other relationships that I've been like people relationships where it's been challenging, but I've been releasing the expectations around what it means to stay in relationship with, certain people, certain things. This is just another one of those. There's evidently a deep, I didn't know it was this strong, although I can think of a bunch of examples in my mind of where I've shut down the conversation around politics throughout 20, 30 years I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So it makes sense. The fact that it has come up so many times in my memory, it makes sense that there's something. Everything we said is true. I'm defining how smart I am based on the fact that this one topic I refuse to engage in, and it's not allowing myself to say, well, it's not part of my journey in this moment to be engaged in it, or it's possible I've just been blocking it, and maybe it will be part of my journey. I don't know. Yeah, I just don't know.
And I think the big thing to highlight here is it's not that you haven't been choosing to release the expectations with that. I don't think you had I think today we brought awareness to expectations you didn't even know were there, that were actually tied to this topic that you thought was completely okay for you to not care about.
Yeah.
And
oh yeah.
But we're seeing oh shit. Like I'm actually not, like, I want to believe that it's okay for me to not care about this topic.
Yeah.
But what I'm truly what I truly believe is that this topic is a necessary evil, right? Like that awful statement, necessary evil. Like there is no such thing as necessary evil. You know that. I know that.
Yeah.
But it reminds me of like the going to the bathroom in the middle of the night. And I remember the first time you came and brought that forward as a projection to drinking. And I was thinking, oh shit, I don't drink and I pee like 5 times in the middle of the night. Like, but you were using it as a projection out. And then when we finally unpacked it, it seemed so silly unpacking it. And we saw like, oh, we're blaming ourselves. When you would wake up in the middle of the night, and you maybe had a glass of wine the night before, and your go-to was like, this is because you drank, you were able to interrupt. And I remember you literally for a period of time pretended there was a box next to your bed. And you would take that story and put it in the box. But the problem was you couldn't do that until like today. We have awareness now. This is me thinking that I actually can't be intelligent unless I have this, unless I partake in this to some extent, whether it's having a conversation or even watching the news. And now you can catch yourself. You can, in the moment, hit your bullshit meter. But before you couldn't. You didn't even know what you were bullshitting about.
Well, no, until really even last week was really what brought it up about. I had no awareness about the intelligence aspect of it. I just thought, why? I'm so sick of people bringing this crap up. And then I don't remember what we talked about on Lighthouse that helped open that door of it felt like it's an intelligent, well, I guess because of the conference. So thank the person that I had the conversation with, because that's really what helped me see that by calling the way it was expressed as Americans are, naive, and they don't care about what's happening in the world. And I took it personally. That's what opened that door to me seeing it differently.
Yeah. See? So back to lightheadedness has subsided.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say at least at this moment, it feels lighter for sure.
Do you feel like you have a new lens that you can present yourself in the moments of judgment?
Yeah, because it was so, I think as we said last week, it's really, I don't think it really is about politics. That's just the just the subject being used.
Flavor of the day.
The flavor of the day. But it's actually was just an area where, because I've accepted and trusted that I'm in tune with my highest self and with God's plan, and I'm following it and I'm following it and I'm feeling it and I feel good about it. And it's good. And then boom, here's one that I'm like, nope.
Not that one.
Not that one. I don't try that one. I'm in charge of. It's funny because I saw that on a different podcast recently where the same kind of thing happened, where the person was like, no, I'm responsible. I'm responsible for that. Not God.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like, I'll take you can take the day
wheel
off
on that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in that way, I see like the dots connecting for sure. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, and I think like in your check-in form, you talked about how the past few days, you've been really reflective on these long-term relationships, release of emotions around, some fears coming up with family transitions. But it's like, how, like, in alignment with, you literally just said, you can think back that politics has been like a relationship, a long-term relationship that hasn't served you.
Right.
Even though you thought like you were able to quote unquote like avoid it because it wasn't, you know what I mean? Like you're getting to, like, it's literally the same reflectiveness with politics as you've been having with like literal body relationships.
Yeah. And there's the guy or the doctors who wrote Attached. You've maybe heard of Attached, about attachment styles. He wrote a new one about secure attachment. And I listened to a little bit of that. And what you just said made sense to me, which is like, if we just use that language, avoidant attachment, right? So it's like, I've been avoiding that, thinking I could just block it and be like, I don't care. I don't want to talk about this. But as we know, if I really didn't care about it, or if I really didn't place any weight on it, we would never have talked about it. It just would never have come up.
No, like it would not hold any storage at all.
No.
It just would be.
That's how I know. It's like you said, I have an example. It's coming to my mind like 20 years ago, a conversation with family members and stuff. And
yeah,
I just shut it down. I was like, no, not doing this.
Yeah. Well, and I would say, like, if we're really looking at like the attachment styles, we're all disorganized. We have this like fearful avoidant attachment, and we're just like constantly swinging back and forth. So
yeah,
that's why you have the ability in moments to appear as a securely attached, right? Until all of a sudden the fear comes in, and then that's when it becomes a disorganized attachment.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Which is, could be appear as avoidant or ambivalent, or, all the different options. So yeah. I can't, it's already been 2 hours.
I can't. I couldn't have imagined that this would be where we went. So I had so many, again, beautiful, positive things I was planning on sharing. Not that these weren't beautiful and positive. I just think it's funny because that's why I wrote on the note, like, wherever spirit wants us to go.
And I think you put a winky face. Didn't you put a winky face? Okay. I was like, I'm pretty sure it's a winky. Because it was like old school. It's not an emoji. It's literally, you had to use the thing in the thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I was like, I never know. I come in with a general topic, and then we go where we want to go.
We never know.
Where
I don't know. Like
God wants us to go.
Right. Exactly. It's exactly what was laid there. We didn't get to choose.
Yeah, we didn't choose. No, we didn't choose. And
it's always so. Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, and you do an amazing job of picking up on the parts where, or the points where I'm like, and let's shut that down. Let's put that to bed and move on.
But it's been a journey. I mean, I think that's like such testament, because we've had conversations of like where I've shared how difficult that has been for me, especially before, like when our relationship was early, to really like present an uncomfortable mirror to you.
Yeah.
And so now, like, I feel like, of course, our work together has gotten even richer, because like we're just so open about like, that was really uncomfortable for me, you know, and like we're just able to reflect later. So it's like when I feel uncomfortable, I know you're irritated. Because it's like, I'm like, all right, okay, we've hit something. All right, we got to move forward. We got to bring the elephant out in the room.
Yeah, I've lost my stoic capabilities.
Yeah. I mean, I've always felt it from you. It's just, I think like over time, like it's like we're able to, we're just so connected. I don't know, like we could go on. We've talked about that, but
yeah.
Okay. How are you feeling? What's your 60-second recap?
I'm not in charge.
Oh, that's a good one.
That's the biggest reminder. I'm not in charge of,
anything?
I would say anything, but specifically like the topics and the subjects that I am interested in. I'm following the path that has been provided for me, and that's okay, and that's enough.
Oh, and that's enough. That's a good.
It's a big one that I keep saying to myself, like, and that's enough. It doesn't, like you said, it doesn't mean that I'm not intelligent because I don't know how to do statistics or whatever. It's like, that's not what it means. I don't have to be, and I'm not, and I don't want to be an expert on everything. I want to be aware and knowledgeable about the topics that interest me and that I want to keep learning about. That's it. And that's enough.
Mm-hmm. And you can know that if it brings you joy, like, because this is the barometer, that it's like meant to, like, that's your path, that's meant to be. So we know, like, the things that bring you interest, like you said, bring you interest because those are the things you're meant to learn about, because you need those tools.
Right.
Just like the Oxford guy, the Oxford garden guy, right? Like, he knows gardens like the back of his hand because it's joyful for him, and when he shares it, you can feel the love radiate from him. And it doesn't mean if he doesn't know anything else about anything else in the world, doesn't mean he's dumb. Like, he's, in my mind, the most intelligent there is, because true intelligence is not of this world. True intelligence is
being in tune.
But the difference between knowledge and wisdom, right? You're moving from knowledge to wisdom. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that was one thing I just want to say, just to end, is the biggest. Always, pretty much everything you share is always helpful, but the example of the one topic, does not knowing something about one topic make you, why would you think that? I don't know anything about a ton of things. Lots of things. I don't even know how many. Billions probably of things. And it doesn't make me less smart or capable of learning and following the path that's aligned for me. So thank you for that. That
includes politics.
Yes, thank you.
That's what we're working on.
Yeah. Thank you.
So much love, and this was beautiful.